Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Fpl Scanner, only on Mavzone Sports. In this episode, I'm going to discuss my thoughts on the news leading to Gameweek 9, which is quite a few days from now, due to the ongoing international fixtures. I will also be reviewing my team performance in the previous game week and analyze my decisions. So, please stay tuned until the end of this video. Game week 8 was quite rewarding for me as I scored a total of 68 points as opposed to the mid 50s that I scored during the past 3 game weeks. My decision to take a hit of 4 points and go for a double substitution has paid dividends as Zag scored 11 points and the West Ham defender Kufal scored 8 points. So, my decision rewarded me with a total of 15 points, helping my team move up the leaderboard. I now hold a place below the 700,000 mark. Do you think I will be able to break the 5-digit barrier? Let's hope so. Overall, the results of Game Week 8 were quite kind to the FPL managers, as I noticed quite a lot of high scoring teams in the private league that I am involved in. Southampton continues to surprise me with regular victories and keeping clean sheets along the way. Manchester United have got back to winning ways after the defeat to the Gunners. And Chelsea are the informed team during the previous few game weeks. West Ham are slowly guiding their team up the table and are keeping clean sheets quite often these days. The decision to go for a West Ham defender worked for me this week. Hopefully, they continue this run into the future games as well. Tottenham's form seems to have dipped and face some tough fixtures in the coming game weeks. The clash of the Titans was a stalemate, but Liverpool are definitely the overall gainers as they came back with a point from the Etihad. It was heartbreaking to find out that the Gunners lost 3-0 at home after that fantastic performance at Old Trafford. But I guess Martinez and his team were more determined to prove their point to everyone that they are serious contenders. For Game Week 8 star performers, we have Bruno Fernandes who scored 17 FPL points this game week. He has been scoring regularly and has scored 2 in this game and added an assist. He also secured 3 bonus points. He is the primary penalty taker for Manchester United and definitely will be scoring a lot more these coming game weeks. At £10.5, he can still be considered a bargain. What are your thoughts on this? Please comment below. In number 2 spot with 15 points, we have Lucas Fabianski, who was the sole reason for West Ham picking up all 3 points against Fulham. He kept a clean sheet and went on to save a penalty. He was a consistent goalkeeper from a FPL point of view in the previous seasons and has potential for this season as well. Next up, we have the Crystal Palace midfielder Eberechi Eze. He took the third spot with 13 points. However, he has had a mediocre performance this season with only 8 points out of the previous 6 games he has played in. His £5.8 price tag also seems to suggest that he may not be worth trying and would more be a one-trick pony. Let's see what the future has in store for him. Also in the third place, we have Aston Villa's Ole Watkins, who scored 2 at the Emirates and earned 3 bonus points in the process. Before I review my transfer for Game Week 9, let us take a quick look at the upcoming fixtures. The highlight of this game week is the game between first place Leicester and Liverpool, who are in the third. Leicester are still not considered title contenders. Maybe a win in this one will lead to them being taken more seriously. Do you think Chelsea will continue their hot form in St. James Park? Let's see. Aston Villa's game against Brighton seems to be a favourable fixture, and I expect at least a clean sheet in this one. Everton's trip to Fulham should be their chance to get back to winning terms. With Rodriguez fully fit now and the return of Richarlison, I certainly hope so. Manchester United's game against West Brom should definitely be a win for them. What we need to consider here is whether this will be a high scoring one or will the Baggies park the bus in front of the United defenders. Tottenham vs Manchester City is another highlight game, but both teams' form suggests this is a game to stay clear of. West Ham's trip to Sheffield United should be a good points return for the Hammers. Let's hope so. Finally, to round off Game Week 9, I am hoping the Gunners come back with 3 points from their game against Leeds. As an FPL manager, I continue to stay superstitious and keep Arsenal players out of my lineup. So, this is how my team is going to look for Game Week 9. I have decided to go with a 3-5-2 formation for this game week. Between the sticks, I am going to pass on the gloves to Martinez. He needs to start picking points and do justice to my video on him. If you haven't watched it yet, please find the link in the description box below. Considering the game against Liverpool, I am going to send my Leicester defenders onto the bench and start with Target, Chilwell and Kufal. Moving on to the midfield, Rodriguez is going to be back in my lineup with Wilson making way for him. Up front, I will be going with Harry Kane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I hope Everton perform the way they did at the beginning of this season. This is the highlight game that may actually push my team higher up the table. Now, for my transfer plans. I have decided to wait until 20th of this month to make that decision. Instead, I will be discussing 3 possibilities that I am considering now and will be mostly making one of these choices. Looking at the current shape of my team, I could replace Gaita for an alternate choice, which may free up some funds as well. I could also let go of Son, on whom I have depended a lot this season, or I could get rid of the inconsistent Wilson. So, for the first choice, I could replace Gaita with the in-form Mendy. He has kept 3 clean sheets already, and at 5.1 pounds, he is a good deal. Alternately, I could go back to Southampton's goalkeeper McCarthy. I actually had him in my team until game week 5. I didn't expect Southampton to play this well, but I have been certainly proven wrong. At 4.5, he is going to free up some much needed funds. Finally, my choice of Pickford is based on my prediction that Everton are going to show some good performances in the coming game weeks. Let's see. At 4.9, he is a like-for-like replacement. My decision to part away with Son may come back to haunt me, but the form of Fernandes is definitely an enticing one. His last week's performance is testimony to that. However, I have insufficient funds and hence need to go for a double transfer, which would result in me taking a hit of 4 points. Do you think it will work for me this week as well? Stay tuned until game week 10. Another option is to go for Liverpool's Diogo Jota. He is a cheaper option to Fernandes. I have made a detailed video explaining the potential of Jota during the last game week. Find the link for that video in the description box below. Southampton's James Ward-Prowse is another cheaper alternative, but he has scored his goals from free kicks only, so I am not sure if this is a sensible option. Alternately, I could have the same 3 options but transfer out Rodriguez instead of Son. Should I be more patient with either or both? Let's wait and see. Another option for me is to transfer out Wilson with equally well performing but cheaper options. This will certainly free up some much needed funds for recruitment of Fernandes. So, what are my choices? First up is Leeds striker Patrick Bamford, who has been scoring consistently in the last few game weeks. Oli Watkins has also started to be a revelation this season, and he has already scored 6 goals. Finally, Che Adams from Southampton has scored 3 goals so far this season. I am not sure if he is going to deliver on a day-to-day basis. Now for some breaking news. It was reported that Joe Gomez was withdrawn from the England squad during the international fixtures. This means that Liverpool's injury crisis continues to worsen, which began with the long-term injury to Virgil van Dijk. So, does this mean that we are finally going to see some youngsters in Liverpool's defensive lineup? It surely seems so now. I will try to come up with some injury updates in an extension of today's episode next week. So, stay tuned and press the bell icon below. With this, I'd like to conclude today's episode of FPL Scanner. Thank you for watching. If you like my videos, then please subscribe. Stay safe and happy weekend.